Okay. Hi, everybody. Helen, welcome. Your screen is not muted. I can hear like your TV in the background. Just click mute. And here are a few things I want to address before we actually start working through the stimulus. The first thing is going to be this sign is often used in ASL, and it's very, very frequently used to mean, wow, I have to, and it just means like, wowie, do I need to tell you something? Oh boy, I can't, you're not gonna imagine this. And it also can be a reaction. And so if somebody's telling you something unbelievable, like something positive or negative, today somebody called me and they said they're going to give me a whole bunch of money. You can, what? That could be a sign like that. Or negative, oh, driving here, accident happened. Oh, sorry. Oh boy, that's what a bummer. Okay, so it doesn't, we learned this sign as awful, but often in ASL it means those things I just demonstrated. It can also mean awful, okay? So if you do want to say car accident, oh, awful, or yeah, does your car look good, still fine, scratch, none, or awful, which you can sign that and it can mean awful also. Other sign, the question was actually if this is most often used to not mean awful, then how do you sign awful? Okay, so if you said I had an awful day, in ASL, that so rarely happens. So like if I were just signing and talking to you and saying, "Oh, my day," I would tell you about the day rather than signing awful. So I'd be like, just arrived home, exhausted. I do busy, outside hot, feel sweat. I would just explain the reasons why I feel terrible. But saying I feel awful is perfectly fine in ASL. It's just usually explained in much more vivid detail than that. We all know that ASL is vivid, expressive, descriptive, and so always lean toward that if possible. We can't always when we're interpreting because of limitations on time, but if you're just signing and communicating with someone, do it more that way. I hope I answered that question. Awful is fine. It can mean awful, and it can also mean all the other things I mentioned. Clear? Okay. 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 Quick role shifting 101. Okay. This is the first week in a while that was really heavy role shifting, although it comes up a lot in my program. This is a heavy one. We had some new people, so I want to go back to the basics on role shifting. First of all, anytime an actual dialogue occurs or a dialogue that you can envision probably happened between two individuals, you can role shift that. So you're going to put that person in space. I'm going to say my husband, and I'm going to set him up. Okay, so my husband right there. Then if he said, hey, wake up, then it would be my husband, I'm going to tell you who I'm going to become. Sometimes, let me just leave it with that. My husband, and then I'm going to shift slightly to his side. My eye gaze is going to go away from the deaf consumer. So my camera is acting as the deaf consumer. Eye gaze is going to go away from the deaf consumer, and I'm going to say, wake up, or wake up, okay? And then typically role shifts have two perspectives. So I'm going to say, here's what I did. Always point to myself to say, this is what I did. And then I might say, or, okay? So that's what I did. And then I can go back to narrator and look back at the camera, okay? And so role shifting 101, meaning the book says it this way, this is the rule-based role shifting, is our eye gaze goes away from the consumer that we're talking to pretty much only when we're role shifting. When we're assuming a character, our eye gaze shifts. And our eye gaze does not have to shift just left or right. It could shift up, it could shift over, it could shift down. Oh, what do I do? It can shift down that way. But when we assume that character in a different time, in a different moment, our eye gaze shifts away. Not every deaf person executes it in that way by the book, just like we don't always speak exactly the way the English books that have been printed in the annals of whatever, we don't always speak that way, but technically those are the rules for a basic role shift, okay? If I set up my husband, okay, and there he is, if I'm just talking about him, then indexing him is just like saying hey, he. I'm not interacting with him and in the moment. I'm not having a discussion with him. Oh, you arrived late. No discussion. If I just said, my husband just got home, I would say, my husband, he just arrived home. Okay? That's it. I don't need to look at him because I'm not interacting with him. I'm still talking to the consumer that I'm communicating with. I can keep talking about him. Seems grumpy. Maybe tonight should avoid. Maybe today, bad day, whatever, I don't know. But I can still keep talking about him with no role shifts and communicate just to the person I'm talking with about my husband that I reference over here. As soon as I decide to role shift and say, he asked me if I'm cooking dinner tonight, then the eye gaze shifts. He, tonight you cook? And me, I'm tired. Order pizza, okay, whatever. So then you saw I said he, and then I shifted slightly. He's talking to me now, and he asked me if I was cooking dinner. Then this is what I said, I don't want. And then he said, oh, fine, order pizza. Or I think I said order pizza, so I did that the wrong way. Me, yeah, just order pizza, okay? So you see the difference between just talking about someone. He's over there. I talk about him. I'm not looking at him, interacting with him. I'm just referencing him. He did this. He did that. He did that. Okay? As soon as I'm communicating with him, then that's when my eye gaze shifts. I will mention this because you will see it often. Eye gaze when you are role shifting does not have to shift away from your consumer. You can just face change, body change, and become the person and still be looking at the consumer. But most often you do see at least a slight eye gaze away from your consumer. Okay. Again, most of the time when an entity is mentioned, it's referenced right away. But sometimes, like at the beginning of this video, he says, my parents, and he doesn't set them up. He just says, my parents, hey, come here, or something like that. So he doesn't set them up right away. But it's a good idea because, as we've seen week after week after week after week, setting people up is such an integral part in ASL. Just get used to when somebody's mentioned, just put them somewhere because you're probably going to mention them again at some point. Why not put them in space? Okay, let me just make sure that I've mentioned everything I want to do. Talk about role shifting 101. Tell us who you're about to become. This is something I saw in one of the videos. Don't role shift early. So if you're going to say, I'm all warm already. If you're going to say, my husband got home at 8, he woke me up. Okay, so there are two elements to that. My husband got home at 8, he woke me up. The my husband got home at 8 part is just narrator. Just narrator. So my husband arrived home 8. Still straight ahead, looking at the consumer. He, wake up. Then it shifts. Don't role shift early. It's not my husband arrived home at 8, wake up. Okay? It's you're telling the consumer, yeah, this guy over here got home at 8, and then here's what he did. Two different things. Clear? Don't role shift into video. Come here. Okay. Deaf people very, very often, take 2. Deaf people typically will role shift very, very briefly, especially in a normal, especially when it's not like story time for children or ASL story time, you know what I mean, when they're actually doing like a real poetic ASL storytelling. But when a deaf person's just communicating naturally, Role shifts and role shifts and classifiers are used all the time, but often really, really briefly. If you go back to Michael Schultz's video this week and look at how briefly he goes in and out of role shifts, it's very quick. It tends not to be like at the beginning of the video when he's a kid and he's woken up in bed. It's quick. It's my parents, wake up, me, oh, and he's at the window, and it's over. It's over. He's looking out the window, seeing the cows, and the whole role shift is done. And then that's probably the longest role shift in the whole video, and he role shifts quite a few more times within it. So if you rewatch it, look how quick his role shifts happen. So start practicing hopping in and out from role shift to narrator. Like, for example, this is a good example from the narrative this week. My staff was giving me crap. That's that line, that lovely line. I like the word crap, so I threw that in there. My staff was giving me crap. So rather than it being along my staff, they, oh, you're late, oh, ha, 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 ha. You can just sign my staff, they're teasing me. So it was a quick shift. It was my staff, and I quickly showed what they did. They did, look at you, and then went back to narrator to say they're teasing me or picking on me, okay? So those kind of quick shifts back and forth happen very, very quickly in ASL. When talking about somebody in, yep, okay. When you are practicing not only role shifting, but just in general, when you're recording yourself, make sure that you have a place set up in space designated as your deaf consumer. Most people use their camera, but you don't have to use a camera. I saw one person this week, they started off here, and so I thought, okay, well, they're going to have their deaf consumer over there the whole time, but then it shifted to the camera, so it got confusing. So you can set up like a teddy bear or something off camera if that is more comfortable for you, but just keep it consistent as your deaf consumer. That way you can see if your eye gaze is working properly. Okay, I think that is it as far as role shifting goes. Eye gaze. Okay. Okay, and then a few quick other observations. This sign is lucky. Lucky. So if you wanted to sign my first appointment canceled, lucky. That's totally fine. That's a perfectly fine ASL way to say that. Lucky. There's no ASL sign for luck, which is why you'll notice a lot of deaf people will sign, more militant, strong ASL users will sign good luck. They'll fingerspell it because there's no ASL sign for luck. But there is a perfectly beautiful ASL sign for lucky, and that's this. Just know that if you're signing good luck and you sign good luck, you're actually signing good lucky, which is why it's odd and not grammatically correct. So this is lucky, and luck can be fingerspelled. It could also be signed many other different ways depending on context. And if you're interested in some of those, I have an old webinar all about luck versus lucky that you can email me and I'll send you a link to that webinar about luck versus lucky. Appointment is like this. One movement, boom. You're going to just grab your watch. Appointment. If you're going to sign, whew, it should look like this. It should not look like forgot. It shouldn't be forgot. Forgot. It should be just like the gesture. Okay, just drag it and drag it, exaggerate it so it feels like the gesture. Feels like the gesture. The sign behind is behind. Behind. Yep, I'm behind. I saw like a lot of kind of, I'm getting further behind or I'm chasing, but if I'm just behind, then you're just behind. behind. Okay, the sign arrive. Oh, we lost Norma. Bummer. Arrive is arrive. Arrive. It shouldn't look like near. It should look like arrive. That's enough of that. I'm going to quickly talk about normal versus normally. This sign means normal, like your test results were normal. Is today a short day or is it a normal day? Okay, it's a normal day, normal. The sign can also mean nature and nation and natural and all kinds of other things, but normal. Normally does not mean normal. I normally get up at 7 o'clock, okay? I typically get up at 7. I usually get up at 7. I tend to get up 7. It's 10. It's 10. So normally, which means the same as usually and typically and tend to, is tend. Tend. This is what normally happens. I tend to arrive to work at 8. Okay? The concept of I'm getting over a cold, we're going to talk about that. A lot of people didn't sign I'm getting over a cold. They just signed I have a cold. Not a huge variance in meaning, but a little bit of a variance in meaning. So if you have a chance to get that more accurate, we're going to talk about how we could do that, as well as I'm the stickler for punctuality, which we kind of talked about. Down goes the iPad. Talked about that a little bit already. All right. Okay. Welcome back, Norma. Just go ahead and mute your screen once again when you're all ready and loaded up. First sentence. I am so sorry for the delay. I'm getting over a cold, and I guess I overdid it on the cold medicine last night because I was out. Okay. Norma, can you hear me? Are you there? Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. I can't see you yet, but I did know that we had a sound connection there, so welcome back. First chunk, I am so sorry for the delay, okay? So I saw 2 variations in the videos that I received. I saw some people say, oh, sorry, I'm late, okay, which is fine. And I saw, sorry, you've been waiting. So sorry, you wait. Both of those seem perfectly fine to me. Does anybody have any other option for that chunk? I'm so sorry for the delay. No? Okay. I'm glad I didn't see anybody sign delay. Delay. That would have been English influence, so good. Next chunk. I'm getting over a cold. Oh, that's it. I'm getting over a cold. That's the next chunk of meaning. So whenever you have a complete chunk of meaning, like something you can go, okay, I know what she's saying there. I know what she's saying there. The whole idea, I know what she's saying there. That's when we know it's a whole chunk. I'm getting over a cold. So what does that mean to you guys? I'm getting over a cold. You can sign it or say it. I'm getting over a cold. So I saw before, I was sick before. I saw I'm sick, cold now. I think I saw somebody sign. Oh, recently, so I'm getting over a cold. I'm getting over a cold. Recently, yes, it's going away. It's going away. So this sign would be a good sign to kind of really hit the nail on the head as far as that meaning. I'm getting over a cold. A cold. It's going away. It's going away. If this were a medical office, doctors probably shouldn't be working with a cold. So maybe it is important to say that it's going away in that situation. So she may not intend on telling her patients that she's, sick and making everybody else sick. Cold. I'm getting away. It's going away. Okay. And I guess I overdid it on the cold medicine last night because I was out. Okay, so that's the next chunk. I guess I overdid it on the cold medicine last night because I was out. What do you want to sign first there? Just tell me the very first two signs you would sign. Everybody agree? Last night? Last night? Yeah. Okay. What happened last night? What are we talking about? Okay, medicine. That works. Yeah. Last night, medicine. What happened with medicine? Okay. So this is what we have. We all have a different visual on medicine. And does it matter? It doesn't matter at all. It does not matter at all. So you might think medicine, and if you think this way, this is what it looks like. Pop, pop, pop. You're going to pop it in your mouth, okay? Medicine, you might think medicine, like a lot, glug, 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 glug. Maybe that's how you show too much. I was even playing with the idea of maybe medicine, like this, like I took a handful and threw in my mouth, like maybe too much, I don't know. You could play with that. Or you could pop, 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 maybe too much. You could glug, 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 maybe too much. All of those, you can play with all the different modes of the normal ways people take cold medicine, okay? And the showing the too much can be just emphasized. So medicine, too much, I don't know. You can just kind of shrug it. And that's it. And then we just have, because I was out, and I think almost everybody signed that the same way, which was I passed out. I think I saw somebody sign, I saw a person sign me, sleep, which is fine. Me, okay, one movement, make sure you sign it, one movement, boom, asleep. Passed out works well. I saw something like this. I was out, although this is more of just showing sleep. So if you're going to depict the sleep, you still want to add the fact that you were like out cold with one of those signs. If you wanted to do like me all night or something like that, that would totally work. This is a fine sign, but it just shows sleep. So you want to add those couple extra signs. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And again, that idea of too much is just, you can show it, but certainly signing too much is a good call. Like, yeah, too much is a good idea. Okay, just to make it clear. One thing that you may have already noticed from all the videos that we watch is that with depiction, deaf people depict very, very readily. They also very, very often add descriptions. They will add the sign. So they'll show the too much, but they'll also sign too much. They'll do both a lot of the time. Okay. My husband woke me up when he got home at 8 o'clock this morning, which is the time I normally get to work. Okay. So what's the time in this sentence? Eight o'clock in the morning. Okay, that works. I wasn't thinking that. Let's do that. Okay, so this morning at 8, what happened? My husband, he arrived home. Yep. And what did he do? Wake up. Okay, yep, he could do that. Hey, wake up. You could even just say, hey, 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 that would be enough, but hey, wake up is a little bit clearer, okay? And then when he said, hey, wake up, what did I do? So many different ways you could depict that. So me, maybe look at him. Okay, I'm seeing that, 2 people signing that. What else would anybody else want to add? Maybe this. Maybe, although she seems like she probably, I think if this is a doctor, she probably like you think she's like, oh wow, like, yeah, that was a good, 8 o'clock feels good. Like what do you think? What do you think her emotional state was at 8 o'clock in the morning when her husband? Complete panic. Complete panic. I think so too. I think so too. And so if you're feeling like panic was her number one feeling, you could show that with, we can use these since two people suggested that sign. So maybe this, here's what I did. Look at him. Look at the time. You could do that. Panic, right? That's it. 2 signs. Shows it. Done. Okay? So we have, my husband woke me up at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is the time I normally get to work. Okay? So we have, you guys wanted to start with this morning at 8. My husband, he arrived home, and then he said, wake up, right? And then I was like, huh? Okay, that works. I'm changing my whole interpretation, but I like this one, okay? Quick and easy. And then, which is the time I normally get to work, okay? And then just right as narrator, you can say, yeah, I tend arrive to work at 8. Oh my gosh. Tend, or every day, every morning, or every day, arrive to work at 8. Oh my goodness. Okay. Any questions so far? Any thoughts about, I did this differently, There are so many different ways that you can approach this that there's a high likelihood that the way you did it was absolutely successful. So if you have those questions, feel free to ask. Okay, we'll move on. Tend, arrive to work at 8. Okay. So I skipped my run, threw on some clothes, and ran in here about 40 minutes later than normal. First chunk. So I skipped my run. What do you guys want to do for that? So I skipped my run. It means what was she gonna do? She planned to run, so I planned to run, right? You could do that. I planned to run, but what did she do? Let me sign that differently, I'm sorry. I planned to run is a better way to do that. So, like if I say I plan run, it's not really clear what do you mean I plan run? But I plan to run, isn't that clearer to what she actually was going to do? Yeah. Yeah, the meaning is clear. Yeah, for running, exactly. So I plan to run, but what did she do about this? So throw me a sign. What did she do with this run that she had planned? Drop is what I would sign. I saw, I can't, impossible, any of those would work. Drop when you are, when you plan an activity or an event or something like that, and then it gets canceled, in ASL it gets dropped. And so, and also, just as a side note, when you host an event or you plan an event, I'm hosting an anniversary party or something like that, you take up that event, and then when you cancel that event, anniversary is not happening for whatever reason, and you drop that event. Okay, so plan, run, drop. Yeah. So I skipped my run, threw on some clothes, and ran in here about 40 minutes later than usual. So most people signed dress and gone or something like that. Dress, boom. Or run, you guys know that classifier for leg? You know that feeling of hurry, 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 run, 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 run. The legs running, you could use that. So change clothes, out of there. And if you wanted to add something like hurry, 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 run, 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 you could, but it's not really that necessary. Threw on some clothes and I was out the door, okay? Arrived, it says about 40 minutes later than normal. Excuse me. Arrived, how do you want to show 40 minutes later than normal? You don't have to, it's not a trick question. I promise. Just 1 second. I see something that I need to address. Hold on just a second. That's odd. I'm going to need to fix that in a second. Anyway, sorry. So 40 minutes later than normal, how do you want to sign that? Arrive behind 40 minutes? Okay. Yeah, arrive behind 40 minutes. That seems to make sense. Or 40 minutes if you prefer the new way. You could do arrived late 40 minutes or 40 minutes late. I saw a lot of people sign that. What about signing arrived at 8:40? Does anybody have any gripes about that? Tend to get to work at 8, 40 minutes late. If you know it's accurate, that would be a perfectly fine way to sign that also. Okay. When I walked into the office, my staff was giving me crap, and I just had to tuck my tail because I'm the stickler around here for punctuality. Okay, so when I walked into the office, six words. How should we sign that? 6 words. Me walk in. Any other way? Office. Me enter. Okay. Me arrive. Me walk. That could be cute since you're a little bit scared about how late you normally are. I walked in. Yeah, that's a cute way. I walked in. I like that. That's cute. So lots of ways you can very quickly sign all those several words. Yeah. So when I walked into the office, so I walked in, okay. My staff, and what did they do? They, maybe kind of teasy. And there are other ways you could do that. Oh, you're late, ha 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 ha. Or even just, I don't know, so many ways you could do it. I'm stuck on this right now, but there are many different ways you could show that idea, that very, very simple idea of that. And then you could, if you wanted to add something like tease, 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 or tease, 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 tease. And I don't know if you guys know that sign tease, like ribbing. It usually has that non-manual sh. Or pick on or something like that could work too. And I'm doing both sides, so you could do they were teasing, or you could do they were teasing me. Notice how my body shifts when I do that. They would pick, or they picked on me. Either way works, depending on how you shift your body. Yes. I feel like this is more light. I see this more often, actually. I don't see this very often. I see hearing people sign this a lot. Oh, yeah, this is not teasing. This is like a joke. Like, yeah, this is more joke. Yeah. I mean, it could, but it's a little bit different meaning. Yeah, this is more joke than tease. Okay, so we have the part about the staff. They were, tease. I had to just tuck my tail because I'm the stickler around here for punctuality. So my response, me, that tucking my tail, could be, no, embarrassed. It could be something like that. It could be like me, this feeling of like I had to kind of like, I had to just eat it, it's my error today, my bad, guys. Could be, or even this is kind of almost the same meaning. I hope a lot of you guys watched my ASL slang video, by the way. A lot of these signs are in there. It's a good video. If you haven't watched it, email me and I'll send it over to you. It's not my ASL slang video. It's somebody else that I found. I don't know that sign. Sorry.
the English gloss that I've seen people use for this is like eat my words.
I've never seen that. Eat my words. Like this?
Yeah, eat my words.
Cool.
Or,
makes sense. Yep, this, yep. So this is the classifier for your head. There's a lot you can do with this. And this is like you're trying to hide, like, I want to get as low as physically possible because I just did something really embarrassing. Yep, that could work. Great. Okay. Then, so after we signed whatever we chose to sign there, whether it be this or this, me, oh, I know. And then, because I'm the stickler around here for punctuality, okay, so you could say, I'm the stickler around here for punctuality. So, what do I tip, me tend what? Tend on time, guys, be on time. Me 10 on time. So that one sign could convey that whole role shift. Me 10 on time. And now roles are reversed. Boom, now we're flipped. Clear? So I'm trying to demonstrate role shifts, but role shifts with just one or two signs. It's just these really quick, easy, because that's usually most often how I see role shifts conveyed in ASL. Not always by any means, but they show up so frequently in the most mundane dialogue. A lot of times we think of role shifts as this like big, elaborate depiction, but it's not. It's normal, absolute normal conversation, and I want to make sure you guys get used to using them in very normal conversation. Then my receptionist told me my first appointment was canceled. So I saw receptionist being signed as secretary, and so I saw secretary or secretary or secretary, all three of those signs, by the way, perfectly fine, very common signs for secretary. Secretary, secretary, or secretary, and I think secretary works fine for a receptionist, especially in this context. I tend to sign receptionist, but it's not no better or worse than your signs for secretary. So my receptionist, I'm going to put her over here. I'm going to make sure she's set up somewhere. My receptionist, welcome back, Norma. Just mute it when you get a second.
oh,
And then, what did she do? My receptionist, your first appointment or your first person who booked today, canceled. Okay, cancel. Good. Your first appointment, canceled. Okay. And then the next sentence is, so that was lucky. So that was lucky. Okay. And a lot of different ways I saw that being signed. I saw me relief or one-handed relief. I saw that. Lucky's fine. Lucky. Any other ideas for that? Yep. Yes. And again, this sign, yes, is more what hearing people do. Yes. Deaf people tend to do this. Yes. Different movement. Their elbow doesn't go back and pull. You're not pulling down the hammer this way. Yes, you're not doing that. You're punching down the hammer this way. Yeah, and it often is signed two-handed too. Can you get your screen to mute, Norma?
I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so, and it's signed commonly too. Yes, yes. For like really little things. Anyway, I won't get into it again. So we have so the next one. Now I'm only 20 minutes behind. And so I'm trying to think of the different versions of this I saw in videos Um, but me behind 20 minutes is a perfectly fine, simple way to sign that. I think I saw somebody showing the idea of catching up. So now I've caught up, 20 minutes behind, nothing, or, not a big deal kind of a feeling, which I like that. I've caught up now, 20 minutes behind, nothing kind of feeling. Any other suggestions?
Well, I was gonna ask, because I had a little issue with that part because I was trying to say like, oh, that's the typical like norm for that, but I was like, I didn't know if signing, I think I signed 10 too much in mine, and I didn't want to. It's not same, because that's like wrong concept. So I was like,
Well, it could be. That could work. Um, uh, doctors, doctors. Yeah, I mean that could. I see where you're getting with that. I mean, I think it could work. I think it could work. Um, if you if there's a stimulus that talks about something that typically happens a lot, like I tend to get to work at 8 o'clock and it's typical to have a 20-minute wait and 10, then signing 10 to a lot is absolutely a fine thing to do. I saw a video once. I feel like I oversign this sign. And then I saw a video and I was like, gosh, he sure does use this sign a lot in this 3-minute little piece. So I felt like if it's relevant, then if it fits, it fits. Sometimes it just fits. So yeah, I do still assign too much, but people do, if it's relevant and if it's time-wise, you have to put it in there. Okay, so
I'm sorry. In that case, so would 10 and then be like this, like 20-minute, like normal, like.
Yep, normal is fine. Normal. Doctor, wait. Go to a doctor, wait 20 minutes, normal. That's fine. Yeah. Yep. I realized I didn't even put that in my gloss at all. I skipped that whole part. So yeah, the next part is, even though that's pretty normal, and that's what she means, is, you go to a doctor, wait 20 minutes, normal. Or even here, 20 minutes, wait, normal. Or even 10, funny enough, both of those signs can work in that sentence, even though they mean something a little bit different. Grammatically, they both work in that. Meaning that's typical that would happen 20 minutes wait, or it's normal to wait 20 minutes. Even though they're different, they still both work. So we actually just finished that whole first chunk of the next to last sentence. The next one is, I'm sure I'm going to redo it just to make sure it's clear. The first chunk of sentence 8 is, and even though that's pretty normal, okay, which we've just kind of discussed, can be, go to doctor, wait 20 minutes, normal, or doctor's office. I never sign office with O's, but doctor's office, 20-minute wait, 10, like that's typical. So either one of those could work for that, and many other options too. I'm sure the folks in the lobby are still complaining about it. So that's the next chunk. I'm sure the folks in the lobby are still complaining about it. So many ways you can show this. One important element of practicing constructed action, constructed dialogue, is just recognizing the opportunity for it. And so I noticed some videos that I watched today overlooked some of these spots in there. So you want to make sure that when you hear, then my receptionist told me my appointment was canceled, that your first instinct, you want to get away from the first instinct being, my receptionist told me the first appointment canceled. You want to go, oh, she told me, so I can show that interaction. I can see that interaction. So just catching it is part of the struggle. It's part of the process of improving. And even this one, I'm sure the folks in the lobby are still complaining about it. This is a more subtle one because there's no told, there's no said, there's no he asked me or she said this to me. And so these are more challenging to catch. And so this is part of the process. What are the folks in the lobby most obviously doing? When, you know, in her mind, what are the folks in the lobby doing? Show me. Grumbling, I'm saying grumbling. What else? What are they also saying? Come on, come on, wait, a lot of looking at your watch, like, come on, yeah. So just that really light, subtle, people in the lobby over there, I know that they are, you know, that kind of thing. Just a quick, whatever if you envision the doctor in her mind, she has this picture of what the lobby is just full of a bunch of people who are just all, she hears it all day, every single day when she's at work, right? Oh, I've been waiting all so long. So whatever you think her vision is, depict that. There, oh, come on, with just a couple of signs, So to lead up to that role shift, it might be something like, the people over there, lobby over there, I know that. And the next sentence is, what can you do? Which is probably, that's all I would probably do for what can you do. What can you do? Okay. But that idea of complaining, and signing complain is fine. Complain, you know, that kind of thing. Wait, whatever. Any of those could work. Wait could substitute for time too. So you could do like, they are, wait, that could work too, instead of looking at your watch. This is another one where you could feel like you're looking at your watch too much in the interpretation, and so you could do wait instead of that. Could work. And that's it. The last sentence, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? It's the only thing I've got for that. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Nothing? All right. Well, have a great next couple of days, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye.